your thoughts and opinions and memories of the Montreal Screwjob?
Oh, that's an interesting one because obviously I didn't get the Iggy on what was going on that night. Just watching it, I was, they started the match off. What we were told was to, as the officials who weren't in the match, stand by because there's going to be this big schmoz at the end. You guys are going to run in and try and break it up and all that sort of stuff, and go that route. So they had the big fight outside in the crowd, and they sent us out there to kind of control things in the sense that they were going through the crowd, so we didn't want anybody from the crowd to get too anxious and try and interject themselves. So kind of protect the talent in some form or fashion. So I got back to the gorilla position, and usually manning gorilla is Gerald Briscoe. Mr. Briscoe is the man. I love Gerald. He's great. But this night it was Bruce Pritchard manning the gorilla position because Gerald had to go out with Mr. McMahon as part of the Stooges with Pat Patterson ringside. So that was his persona. So he was following that thing. So I'm standing right beside Bruce Pritchard watching the match as it's unfolding. And just as Earl takes that bump and, Bulldog and everybody else of Owen, where they were all there ready to run in for the aftermath of the match, and so to speak. And as I'm watching it, Earl takes the bump. I'm watching the monitor. I'm standing right beside Bruce. And he was the one who communicates with the referee. He's got the button that he presses and the microphone. And he's the one who gives us the times and all that sort of stuff. And whatever the agent for the match, if they want to communicate something to the referee, to the talent through the referee. So as I'm sitting there, Earl takes a bump. Sean gets the sharpshooter on. And I hear in my earpiece, okay, now Earl, get up and ring the bell now. It wasn't Bruce. I'm standing right beside him, and he's like watching the monitor like everybody else. And I went, what the heck's going on here? And all of a sudden Earl gets up, rings the bell. He's out of there, gone. And downstairs, apparently his brother Dave was in the car waiting and running, and has got in the car and they're gone. I didn't know that part until the next day. But so as we're all standing around wondering what the heck went on, even Bruce had a surprised look on his face, but I'm not sure he wasn't aware. I mean, they kept the circle small, but at the same time, it threw everybody for a loop. And it was weird because there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and there's one that I may have bought into that I'm not sure if it was, I'm 50-50 on it, that maybe it wasn't something that maybe Brett had agreed to do for a short period of time, where then said, you know what, here's the deal. WCW is offering you a boatload of money, some ridiculous money. He says, maybe, I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying I've got the insight on this one. Maybe he said, you go over there for a little while, stir the pot, make that money. And when your deal's done, you come back here and you'll be the biggest star in the industry. And Brett probably said, you know what? That'd be cool. I could do that. Until the unfortunate thing with him and Goldberg. And then, of course, the unfortunate terrible tragedy with his brother Owen, I think, just soured everybody on a whole bunch of things. And of course, put an end to that idea. But I think that's a very plausible thing that may have happened that day, because one of the things that I didn't realize till afterwards was usually they have press credentials for people to come in, and they do the press, have access to the talent for interviews. And apparently that day, I did not know this, apparently that day, no press was allowed in the building. No press was allowed access. They were all told you can go sit in the crowd, but you have no access to the talent or anybody like that. You have to sit in the crowd like everybody else, which I found odd. They never do that. So I don't know. It's something to think about. I think, anyways.